Hello everybody, and welcome back to another 6-scale figure review with me, your host, That Mania, and today we finally have the Jazzinc 1989 Batmobile. You'd be able to see the words, however, they decided to lay right in front of my light. So, you can see it is the Batmobile, the ultimate Batmobile. This is Jazzinc's attempt at the 89 Batmobile to try to get a little bit more accurate than the Hot Toys one. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the Hot Toys one if you prefer that. But some people did want something a little bit bigger, a little bit more accurate in some specific parts that aren't as accurate on the Hot Toys version, that they haven't changed since they've released it. And here is that chance to get this. So as soon as I move this box, this one's going to get up and run away. So be prepared for that as well. So here on the top, we have a bunch of stuff that happens to be upside down currently. So we will have to flip that around. If you want to scooch for me. There they go. Let's stand up here since this box is huge. So here on the top, you can see it has light up effects. It has a detailed cockpit interior, the most movie accurate, and a detailed exterior. More Batman lingo. And then back on the back, we've got our warnings. Bunch of this. You could pause that there if you wanted to read that. Ooh, consultants. Look at that. And a picture of the back of the Batmobile. Here on the sides, we have... I can't even read that. Oh, everything it includes. So in case you didn't want to just watch the video, you could look at all of that and see that. And on the other side, we have just a picture of the Batmobile. So, what we want to do now is we want to take my slippered feet and kick that box and get it open. Side note, last time I did a Batmobile video, somebody was very unhappy that I dropped the box, but it was premeditated. It's like a cooking show. It was never in the box. I had already taken it out. So, obviously, this guy is not going to fit on a spinning turntable anytime soon. That is just a given. It is way too heavy. But what we can do is go over accessories, which it does have some, and some pieces that are actually designed to be connected in, because there is a slight bit of assembly required. So we do have two of the back burners here. I will take these out in a little bit because they go on the back. This is part of the assembly. You get both of the, I'd say, gun canopy covers, which they do have a nifty magnet to help you pick those up. Putting those on in a little bit. You can see there's a hole here. We have the cover for the hole, but there is more to said spot than that. And I do have said object that would go in said spot. We have what I can only kind of call his like wedge to knock things over, which is kind of, it would plug in, but I think this is the wrong side. Yeah, it's definitely, so you can see here, it does stick out just like in the movie. And if you're wondering why there are smudges all over my Batmobile already, it's because I forgot to put my gloves on before I touched it, and I've got fingerprints all over it now. Those are from me. Those are not from delivery. So easy as putting that in the wrong side. It is magnetic, so it does just come out, but you can just pop it right in there and boom, now it's covered. We do also have the bat discs, so if you pop this bad boy open, if you can get this bad boy open, being very, very careful. That's never coming open. I need my finger. God forgive me. Alright, so we slide that part open. And we do, let me put my glove back on real quick. we do have 4. Now I can't grab anything. So my gloves. We have 4 of these bat discs, which he does use in the movie. Quite a nice looking piece. It's kind of like a frisbee with a bat on it. And it literally just plug into place like that. It's pretty straightforward, I'd say. But that is not all. We do also have, because I don't want to lose them, I kept them in the bag. We have the little grapple pieces that he uses to turn the car drastically around the pole. So these, I'd recommend you use the tweezers, because it does come with a screwdriver and tweezers. It recommends you use the tweezers to plug this into its home, which just so happens to obviously be on the Batmobile. Sorry. The home is actually right in here. You just want to slide it into place. Like I said, I don't have the tweezers, because they are, oh, never mind, it goes right in. So that just slides right into place. So if you wanted to store that, it goes right in there. We have our syringe, because this has the smoke effect, just like the previous 2022 Batmobile, which is a cool thing that I'm glad they've kept over. Then we have our little, so we have the little bats that go on the tires themselves. Not quite sure why they're not attached. I've already attached one just to make sure I was doing it right. It says magnets in the instructions, but I don't believe these are magnetic in the slightest, seeing as though they are sticky. So you'd essentially just want to, as best you can. I mean, even if you don't get it perfectly straight up, it's a wheel, so it can just turn. You just essentially want it to be in the middle, as best you can. And there you have your bat. You want to do that with all 4 sides. Obviously, I've only done it with this side because it's the only side currently available to me, because we are only looking at one side of this thing, and it is, if you couldn't tell, rather large, like really long. I'm trying to get my gloves back on right now. As you can see, hello, it's me in the reflection. So this Batmobile uses what should be called flip-flop paint. It's probably not as noticeable as it might be in the movie, but technically there is supposed to be like a secondary color in there. It's not just straight black like it is in Batman Returns. There is a slight hue of, I believe, purple, or I can't remember the exact second color. God, I just left fingerprints all over this thing. But now going over it a little bit more in depth, we can come and look at the side here, all the way to the front. We will go over the lights and the front a little bit later on. You can see we have these lovely custom designed tires with the bat right there in the middle, which does look rather nice. I like the way the tires came out. We've got all of this lovely detail on the side here. Obviously our disc launcher, gribblings, our wedge, and then we have the cool mechanical pieces down here, which I believe some are die cast, a few but not all. Obviously we have where our grapple goes, but all of this detail right here is super well done. I'm really happy with the way this guy has turned out so far. We have our, what I can only call, big exhaust. If you didn't know any better, you'd assume that it's just an empty hole to nowhere, and it might as well be. We have our ventilation here. You can see there are some cool vents right there, so you get some vent action. We do have a little gas cap here, which with the magnet piece does open up, which is a nice, cool play feature. Cool, happy about that. again, we have our big tires with some big word on them because these are bigger than the front ones. And then we have our bat wing here in the back, which does look stunning. This vehicle has a very, very lovely presence. And if you give me one moment, we can look at it from the front. So now that we're in the front, we can talk about one extra accessory. That's technically not an accessory, but it is quite important. As you can see, we have our remote. So this is the remote similar to the one Batman actually uses to speak into in the movie, but now we can use it to control the lights on the car. Not just the lights, but there is also a spinning turbine in the front here, which is my absolute favorite thing. But since we now have the lights on, we can kind of go over that as well while we go down the line here. So as you can see, we have our, what I'll call the nose cone here, which does divot down as opposed to the Hot Toys one that goes straight out. It is more accurate in the movie world, as I've realized now. I always thought it was weird that Jazzinc was really adamant about this like weird dipping down, but it does do that in the movie as well. We have our vents here. We have our dog hair here, which I've wiped off like 8 times now. It's just inevitable. We have this nice view of the cockpit there, which if you come over here, we can lift that bad boy off. And as you can see, there is a gun here. It does come up. So you can recreate the scene when Batman decides to go absolutely postal, if that's what you're into. Shocked this cut doesn't come with the bomb he drops in Axis Chemicals. You see we have plenty of vents here. Let me move my light real quick, dropping you. Picking you back up. See, we have plenty of ventilation here, which does look quite nice. God, I have no space in here for this. Hello, me. You see, we have the window of his cockpit, which looks super nice. And if I can fix my glove here real quick, because I was using this thumb. And I ripped these gloves because my hands are too big for them. Putting you back down. My thumb is stuck in the glove right now, currently. But I do need my thumb, because we are. I'm going to attempt. I'm not actually going to. So. Alright, so the cockpit does open up and slide. It's a little finicky. But once you get it, you get it. And if I can remember where I put my remote. So it does have lights on the inside that you can control. There is a steering wheel there with a bat on it. Hold on. So there is a steering wheel with a bat on it. Now that we have a light on in here, you could see the chairs look super nice. I'm pretty happy with the way those have turned out. I can't wait to see the sitting Batman that we get, to see how well he fits in here, because there is no way in hell I'm putting my regular Batman in here. I'm telling you that right now. It does have some playability as well. You can flip those up and down to your heart's content. I wouldn't touch anything else in here except for the wheel, which does spin, so you can pretend like you're driving the Batmobile yourself if that's what you want. Or you could just add more dog hair to it. I live for dog hair. So we have another big, let's call it a vent up here. And then that leads us down to the back, which I will turn it around so we could see that And obviously this side is the same, except for I didn't add any of the gizmads and doodads quite yet. Give me one brief moment and I will flip this bad boy around. Welcome to the back, where we jam our legs behind a box and hope for the best. So we have this piece here. You want to make sure that this little dongle is facing up. That's how you know it's in the right way. So it should just struggle into place. I had to struggle with the first one to make sure I was doing it right. Once you got it, you got it. So what we have here is kind of a turtle shell kind of pattern with even more exquisite dog hair. That kind of turtle shells over the exhaust here. That does have a nice flickering effect. I'm super happy with that. We've got plenty of ventilation here, which looks lovely. We've got our big fins, not as big as like Batman Forever, but you know, gets the job done. We do have some more lights. I put the remote directly behind me. Never mind, it's on the floor now. So we have, oopsies, I've knocked the battery out of place in my remote. So the battery in this, there's one battery in this remote, one whole battery. I think I put it in backwards. Hold on, 1 second. So we want to make sure we get this turtle shell off of here, put it somewhere there won't be dog hair. So there are these two twist knobs here, which you'll need the allotted bar here. Easy enough. Nice and secure. Hopefully that's enough. It's not. So you guys having fun? Did you guys pick up the weird sitting Batman to go with this? Or are you just gonna raw dog it and hope for the best? Come on. Didn't want to lose that. So then, once you've exposed all of the inner workings, it should just be right here. Then you just want to take your little pippy and fill that with some water. Plug that bad boy back up, and then, you know, reverse the process. I can't get it. Give me 1 second. And then, as if by magic, whoa! That's going all over me right now, by the way. So I did it for you. Magic. Then you just press the button to stop it. We do have one more fun play feature, which is sound effects. They don't sound the best, and some of them are straight up of the car, and some of them are just straight dialogue of the movie, like this. Let's go. See, it's a little odd. I get what they were trying to go for, but I probably won't be using them anytime soon. Anyway, now that I've talked about this guy enough, I'm going to try to do something crazy. Let's try to compare some Batmobiles. Probably one at a time. So I thought it made the most sense to start with, well, I guess in order. Since I don't have the Batman Forever Batmobile, I decided to go with the Batman Begins / The Dark Knight Batmobile. And as you can see, it is a lot smaller. Obviously, it's the smallest, like one of the smallest Batmobiles. which is by design. People think that this is underscaled, and it's actually probably more accurate than you would think it would be. But you just see, I mean, how different of a design the 89 here is compared to the Dark Knight one. It's a fun look about because you could see, I mean, just the difference, what, 10, couple more than 10 years made? 10, I'll say, let's round it up, let's say 15. This is a fun one for me. Because, I mean, it kind of looks like a Batmobile. This one screams Batmobile to me. And that's because I'm extremely biased towards it. I just say, let's move on to the next Batmobile, but then my phone got really, really angry and said, I don't have any more space. So, how about now? Let's move on to the next Batmobile. Now that, for some reason, my lighting has also fixed itself. Odd. So here we have the Justice League version of the DCEU Batmobile versus the 89 Batmobile. The only Batmobile currently in my collection to give the 89 a run for its money. It's bigger, it's beefier, it's scary. I mean, it's got guns, it's a tank. 89 is scary in its own right, but this guy is just scary because he wants to be. He's been sitting on the bottom shelf for a while just because he's been the only one who hasn't been able to have like you see I have like Batman with my Batmobiles, but this one's a little too big, so he's been sitting on the bottom. So I haven't been able to look at him very much recently, but it is nice to remember that I do like this guy, especially now that I have the 89. Both Jazzinc Batmobiles after all. But yes, this guy is super cool, and so is this guy. This guy's my favorite, and I love him oh so dearly. And it is nice to see them side by side, because again, these guys are both big, imposing, and scary, scary Batmobiles. Anyway, we've got one more car left to bring out. Last but not least, we do have our weathered Jazzinc 2022 Batmobile, one of my favorites. Just slightly overtaken by my new favorite. But I love these both. They're just like all my other Batmobiles. I do just genuinely love them. That's why I collect them. They make me feel happy and giddy on the inside. And it's just nice to have all the four main ones that I have been wanting for however long. And I'm happy to see that they all look really good. They all look really, really good. Even the Hot Toys tumbler I'm happy with. Jazzinc, I know, is talking about making a tumbler. I probably won't pick it up because I'm happy enough with the Hot Toys one. Anyway, how about we wrap up this video, because it is getting really hot moving all these Batmobiles around. So all in all, I'd say Batman has a pretty sweet new ride all the way home tonight. I am quite happy about it. Obviously, he seems to be, let's say, thrilled with that evil smile. Like I said, he'll never sit in this car ever because he's wearing a rubber suit. It's never happening. That's why I bought the Jazzinc Silly Sitting Batman, so that guy can sit in here, and this guy can stand outside of it, and I can still have representation for both. I am super, super happy with this thing. Let me tell you, it's got fun play feature. It's got, I mean, the size of it is beautiful. It's just really nice to look at, and it's a very, very nice shelf piece overall. And I'm happy to say that he'll be joining my shelf team. If you've picked up this one or the Hot Toys one, feel free to let me know which one you picked up and why. Usually it's about cost or space management, but some people just prefer one or the other. So I'd love to know what you think and why you picked up one or the other. Because I know how I picked this one up. I picked it up because I wanted to go big and go home at the same time. So I did that. I went big and went home. I'm home with big. and I'm glad that I did, because Jazzinc has done some really nice work in the past. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of their things now currently in my shelves, plus what, a few more on pre-order. So I've definitely have my faith in them, and we'll just have to see if my faith is paid off at the end. But I think, you know, if they're going to keep quality up like this, then I'm not too worried. I know some people have had issues with quality control, with more fingerprints and some dents and some issues, but Jazz is always really good about, you know, getting in contact and figuring that out. So their customer service is also very good. So if you're worried or on the fence about something Jazzinc related, I'd say absolutely, if you have the money. But if you don't try to push it, you know. Go for whatever option works best for you. I'm just broke. But all in all, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, because I sweated to make this video because I've been sitting in front of a light for who knows how long. So I think, you know, since I sweated for it, that sweat should translate over, you know, because when you sweat for something, you have to then subscribe. There's like a whole rule about it, I think. Like people who sweat in a video, you have to subscribe to them instantly. It's like if somebody dies during like finals, everybody automatically gets an A. Something like that. I can't remember, but I think it's something along those lines. And make sure to like the video as well if you enjoyed it, because you know, the train's been rolling really nicely, and I'd love to keep that momentum going, especially because I love making videos for you guys, and I'm having the time of my life doing it. So I just want to make sure that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And with all of that out of the way, I've been me, and you've been you, and thank you for watching another 6-scale Batmobile review. Hopefully you join me next time when we review something maybe new. I will see you then. Also, I forgot to mention, this was the Christmas episode, so happy Christmas, everybody.